right, everyone, take a moment and buckle in, because what I'm about to unveil from Browns minicamp could become one of the defining narratives of the entire NFL season. And yes, I know it's still early in the offseason. Trust me, I get it. But what I'm witnessing firsthand and hearing from deep inside the organization is simply too compelling to ignore, especially if you've followed the Browns for years, always hoping for a glimpse of genuine progress, something tangible, something that finally feels like real momentum. So here's the scoop. David Njoku. Yes, the David Njoku, the battle-tested veteran, the playmaker who's endured every twist and turn this franchise has thrown his way, just gave what I can only describe as a subtle but profoundly powerful endorsement of rookie quarterback Shedeur Sanders. And for those of you who haven't been glued to every camp update, let me make one thing clear. This kind of silent signal, it's massive. And the way it happened, even bigger. Before I continue, take a second to subscribe, like the video, and share your thoughts in the comments. Your support helps this community thrive. Back to Njoku. Not making a dramatic speech, not hyping up a rookie in front of a press conference like he's reading a PR script. No, this was different. This was real. It was in the in-between moments, during reps, on the sideline, through laughter and body language and those quiet cues that only teammates catch. And trust me, that's where the truth lives, in the unspoken energy, in the off-mix signals that reveal who really believes in who. And Njoku, he's clearly buying into Shedeur. You can see it. It's authentic. The chemistry is forming right in front of us. Sanders delivers a tight spiral, on time and on point. Njoku slashes across the middle and snatches it like they've been playing together for 5 years. That's not just execution, that's instinctive trust. When you combine a tight end with Njoku's athleticism and toughness, with a young quarterback boasting elite-level accuracy and ice in his veins composure, you don't just get good football, you get game-breaking potential. And let's not forget, we're talking about a 5th-round pick here, not a first-round media darling, not even a top 3-round guy. But you wouldn't know that from watching him. You wouldn't know that by listening to what's being whispered across Berea right now. From OTAs to minicamp, Sanders has brought the energy, the mentality of a grinder, but the presence of someone who knows he belongs. And Njoku, he respects that. You can see it in his demeanor, hear it in his tone. He said it himself. Shedeur shows up every day, positive, locked in, smiling, hungry. That kind of energy is contagious. That's who you want in your locker room. That's who you want to go to war with. And here's the kicker. Njoku's not alone. Myles Garrett, Myles Garrett, the heart and soul of our defense, the franchise cornerstone. He's spoken up to, and when Garrett speaks, people listen. He doesn't waste words. He's not here to hand out compliments unless they're earned. So when he says Shedeur is fitting in seamlessly, when he praises his poise, confidence, and steady presence, that's not PR. That's real respect. Garrett even said people just love being around him. Think about that. A locker room filled with veterans, alpha personalities, men chasing roster spots, and they're drawn to a rookie quarterback. That's not common. That's rare. That's leadership. Presence. Intangibles. I went back and studied some of the minicamp footage, and one clip stood out more than any press conference ever could. Njoku and Shedeur off to the side, laughing, chatting, completely relaxed. No ego, no forced interactions, just genuine connection. And when drills resumed, that vibe. Shedeur was dealing precise, calm, in rhythm. Njoku? Snagging everything. Strong hands, clean routes. It was poetry in motion. And guess what? The buzz isn't just in the locker room. Mary Kay Cabot, one of the most respected voices in Cleveland sports journalism, is seeing it too. And Mary Kay doesn't throw out hype just for clicks. She's covered this team longer than most players have worn cleats. When she says that Sanders is earning trust, not just from fans, but from veteran players and coaching staff alike, you know it's real. She's watched him beyond the practice field at the Super Bowl, at NFL Honors, at Colorado's Pro Day. She's seen how he interacts with everyone, fans, coaches, media, always respectful, always focused, always calm in chaos. That's maturity. That's future QB1 material. And as Mary Kay said, this is no longer just off-season optimism. It's transforming into belief. And belief, my friends, is the first spark that sets a dynasty in motion. To me, belief, that what transforms franchises. When people inside the building stop saying he might be good and start saying, he's our guy, that's the pivot. And it feels like we're witnessing that very shift happening with Shedeur Sanders right now, right here in Cleveland. And Mary Kay Cabot nailed something else, something especially vital in a city like this. He's polished on the mic, calm, articulate, not cocky, but composed. He knows how to pressure. He knows how to handle the media. And in this town, that's everything, because the Cleveland quarterback spotlight doesn't dim, it burns all day, every day. And if you can't navigate that heat off the field, it won't matter how talented you are on it. And I want to unpack all of it for you, because this story is accelerating fast, and if you're not tuned in, you might miss what could be one of the most captivating quarterback sagas unfolding in the NFL right now. But first, smash that subscribe button, like the video, and drop your take in the comments. Let's grow this community together. Now let's talk about what just surfaced. A former NFL standout, now an analyst with deep insider connections, recently revealed something that blew this story wide open. This wasn't media speculation. He said he's been in direct contact with players inside the Browns locker room. First-hand insight, not second-hand whispers. And the word coming out of Berea, glowing. Players aren't just impressed with Shedeur's arm, though that's certainly there. What they're responding to is his poise, his presence, his ability to walk into a huddle and instantly command respect. That's rare, even for veterans. And here comes this rookie, fresh out of college, already earning that reverence. That speaks volumes. One player reportedly even went as far as to call Shedeur the best quarterback in the room. Let that marinate. In a room that includes Joe Flacco, a Super Bowl MVP. That kind of praise isn't thrown around lightly. Not in the NFL. Not in this locker room, where respect isn't gifted. It's earned. And this isn't just chatter from fringe players. This is coming from the top dogs. Denzel Ward, a Pro Bowler and one of the league's elite cornerbacks, kept it short when asked about Shedeur. He said, he looks different. 3 words, but coming from a guy who lines up against the NFL's best quarterbacks every week, that speaks louder than a paragraph. He's not just talking about mechanics or footwork. He's talking about that it factor, that rare presence that separates the good ones from the greats. And the analyst added something else that stuck with me. The rumor mill is in overdrive, with whispers that Sanders could shock the league by starting week 1, a feat so rare that only a handful of QBs drafted in the 5th round or later have accomplished it since the 1967 merger. The most recent? Dak Prescott in 2016. The spark that ignited this frenzy? Live from Berea, where Sanders has been dominating OTAs and minicamp with the poise of a 10-year veteran. According to Mary Kay Cabot from Cleveland.com, Sanders is legitimately in the running for QB1, despite being listed 4th on the depth chart behind battle-tested Joe Flacco, redemption-seeking Kenny Pickett, and fellow rookie Dillon Gabriel. And here's the stat that'll make your jaw drop. The last time a quarterback drafted this late, started week 1, was Randy Hedberg, an 8th-round pick for the Bucs back in 1977. If Sanders is under center against the Bengals, he'll join an elite, almost mythical club. But let's not sugarcoat it. This won't be a walk in the park. Sanders hasn't seen first-team reps in 11-on-11 drills yet, with Flacco and Pickett monopolizing the action, and Gabriel getting prioritized as a 3rd-rounder. Still, Sanders is turning heads with minimal opportunities. One play that sent shockwaves through the camp, a 60-yard touchdown strike to rookie receiver Gage Larvidon during OTAs. A laser-guided missile that silenced any doubt about his draft position. Social media exploded, with fans and insiders proclaiming Sanders has already leapfrogged Pickett in the QB race. Vegas odds, Flacco sits at 60% to start week 1, but Sanders has surged to 25%. Not bad for a supposed developmental pick. Some insiders even suggest he's outperforming Gabriel in practice. No small feat considering Gabriel came in with Big Ten Offensive Player of the Year accolades. Make no mistake, the Browns' quarterback room is a full-blown battleground. With Deshaun Watson sidelined indefinitely by a devastating Achilles tear, Cleveland's QB1 throne is wide open. You've got Flacco, the 40-year-old playoff warrior, Pickett, the former Steeler seeking redemption, Gabriel, the undersized but fiery competitor from Oregon, Sanders, the wild card with an NFL bloodline and a rocket for an arm. Let's talk credentials. Sanders racked up 4,300-plus yards, 37 touchdowns, and a 70.1% completion rate in his final college season. The guy can sling it, but scouts still question his pocket awareness. He took a whopping 52 sacks in 2024. The big question is whether he can adapt to NFL speed and complexity, but zoom out, dog pound. Because this is bigger than one quarterback. The Cleveland Browns have been trapped in quarterback purgatory since their 1999 return. We've cycled through 37 different starters. Yep, 37. From Couch to Baker Mayfield to the polarizing Deshaun Watson. And let's be real, the Watson trade was supposed to end the drought. 3 first-round picks, $230 million, 0 cents guaranteed. Instead, injuries, controversy, inconsistency. Even owner Jimmy Haslam publicly admitted it was a colossal mistake. And now, Cleveland is desperate for a fresh chapter. Enter Shedeur Sanders. This isn't just a rookie story. This is football royalty. The son of NFL Hall of Famer Deion Primetime Sanders, Shedeur grew up under stadium lights and sky-high expectations. From Jackson State to Colorado, he compiled over 10,000 passing yards and 99 touchdowns across 3 seasons, while showcasing elite arm talent and a coolness under pressure that drew Russell Wilson comparisons. So why the slide? Teams questioned his maturity in interviews, others didn't want the media circus tied to the Sanders name, and some were spooked by his sack rate. But the Browns, they saw gold in the rubble. GM Andrew Berry later revealed they had Sanders graded as a second-rounder, so when he was still on the board in round 5, Cleveland didn't hesitate. They moved up to seal the deal. Now Sanders finds himself in the NFL's most chaotic QB competition, and if this whirlwind continues, we might just witness one of the greatest underdog ascensions in recent memory. Get ready, Dog Pound, because if Shedeur Sanders takes that first snap under center in week 1, everything changes. Dog Pound, strap in, because things are about to get wild. This isn't just about Shedeur Sanders, it's about what his story signals for the future of the Cleveland Browns, their evolving draft strategy, and how they're architecting the quarterback position for years to come. Historically, Cleveland has shown a mix of patience and boldness when it comes to quarterbacks. Think about how Baker Mayfield's career in orange and brown began. Every turning point has been the result of strategic timing, careful evaluation, and occasionally risk-taking. So the real question becomes, is Shedeur Sanders Cleveland's next major project, or is he quietly being stalled by design? It's a question only the Browns coaching staff can truly answer. Inside the organization, Shedeur has built a reputation for grit, focus, and relentless work ethic. Reports suggest he's fully immersed, studying film, asking questions, and learning under veteran Joe Flacco. According to ESPN Cleveland's Kimberly A. Martin, Sanders is absorbing everything like a sponge. That's exactly the mindset you'd want in your future franchise quarterback. But here's the reality. The NFL is a game of patience, strategy, and perfectly timed opportunity. So Browns fans, let's zoom out. What does all this truly mean for us? If Shedeur continues to excel in practice, it's only a matter of time before he earns his shot. The real question is when? Will it be this season, or are the Browns preparing a long-term blueprint, letting him develop quietly behind the scenes before launching him into the spotlight? These are the types of decisions that shape legacies and can alter the trajectory of a franchise for an entire generation. Really similar to the path of Patrick Mahomes, who sat for a year behind Alex Smith before erupting into superstardom. Or Joe Burrow, who had to gradually grow into the demands of the league. Sometimes patience breeds greatness. Other times, waiting too long can suppress it. And let's not ignore the landscape. The AFC North is a minefield. With juggernauts like the Ravens, Bengals, and Steelers, every game is a war, and every decision under center is magnified. That's why the Browns coaching staff is likely walking a razor-thin line between immediate competitiveness and long-term vision. Look at the roster moves. The Browns have reinforced their offensive line, elevated their defense, and brought in dynamic playmakers at the skill positions. All that's missing now is a true leader at quarterback, someone who can deliver stability, explosiveness, and poise under pressure. Definitely not. I don't know if I've ever danced in public in my life. On the surface, it was harmless. Veteran-rookie banter that offered fans a smile during the heat of June OTAs, but in Cleveland, in this quarterback room, that moment hit different. It wasn't just entertainment, it was chemistry. It was also the beginning of something more profound. Something strategic, something revealing. Because behind the laughs and the thousands of likes that followed, a quiet storm was brewing. One that could reshape this season and perhaps the next decade. You've got Shedeur Sanders, the son of Prime, arriving in Cleveland with confidence, composure, and a digital following the size of a small nation. But he didn't come here just to trend, he came to conquer. And standing in his path, Joe Flacco, the veteran tactician with a Super Bowl ring. Dillon Gabriel, a third-round pick known for his inconsistency. And Kenny Pickett, the unpredictable wild card. This isn't just a training camp battle, it's a war for the soul of the franchise. Because lurking in the background are two potential top 10 picks in 2026. Think about that. If none of these quarterbacks can seize the throne, the Browns might have no choice but to use those picks, chasing yet another quarterback. But if just one of them, just one, can rise above the fray, Cleveland can finally end the carousel and build around a true cornerstone. And here's where things get even more compelling. During recent OTA practices, reports emerged that Sanders looked sharp. Not just decent, not just promising, sharp. According to observers, he went 6 for 7 in second and third team reps, while Gabriel stumbled with a shaky 2 for 6. That sparked an online frenzy, with fans asking the question, why isn't the most efficient quarterback getting first team reps? Nathan Zagura broke it down. This isn't just about completion percentages or pretty spirals. Sanders is still learning the NFL's complexities, the cadence, the command, the pre-snap reads, the post-snap decisions. Joe Flacco has 191 NFL starts. He's lived this rhythm for over a decade. Kenny Pickett has 25. Sanders, so while he's impressing the staff, he's still in the developmental phase for now. But patience doesn't mean indifference. Behind the scenes, Tommy Rees says Sanders is relentless. He's grinding, studying, evolving. The Browns aren't throwing him to the wolves. They're investing in his future, but the clock is ticking. If Cleveland doesn't fully evaluate Sanders this season, they'll be making critical decisions next year with a blindfold on. That's the danger. That's the tightrope walk. Every rep, every snap in preseason is part of a much larger trial, one that tests not just talent, but readiness, leadership, and franchise potential. Joe Flacco, the seasoned warrior who propelled the Browns to an 11-5 record and a playoff berth in 2023, is back in the saddle, but let's be honest, at 40, he's a temporary fix, not the long-term answer. Kenny Pickett, acquired in a trade from Pittsburgh, was supposed to be a reclamation project. But with a 7-10 career record and inconsistent accuracy, he hasn't exactly won the hearts of Browns Nation. Then there's Dillon Gabriel, the third rounder out of Oregon. He brings dual threat capability and an impressive college resume, but his 5'11 stature and limited arm strength have some scouts labeling him a career backup before he's even taken a snap. And finally, Shedeur Sanders, last on the depth chart, but first in charisma, raw ability, and let's be real, market appeal. His No-2 jersey is already the top-sellered rookie jersey in the entire NFL, and the Prime effect has turned all eyes toward Cleveland like never before. Quarterback problems in Cleveland are nothing new, but this time, the stakes feel heavier. Last season's 3-14 disaster exposed what happens when you don't have a steady hand at QB. The offense ranked 28th in scoring, averaging a paltry 16.7 points per game. The fans are starving for a spark. And Sanders just might be the lightning bolt. His college film shows elite potential. A quarterback who can extend plays, launch bombs, and rally teammates like a natural-born leader. But the NFL is a whole new jungle, one filled with blitz-heavy defenses, elite disguises, and relentless pressure. Can he survive it, much less thrive in it? Why should you care, dog pound? Because if Shedeur Sanders starts week 1, it wouldn't just be a personnel move, it would be a full-on paradigm shift. The Browns haven't had a Pro Bowl quarterback since Derek Anderson in 2007, and the hunger for a true franchise QB has turned into a full-blown famine. If Sanders steps onto the field against Cincinnati and delivers, we're talking about a rookie rewriting decades of disappointment. A Week 1 win wouldn't just be a good start, it would set the tone for an entire season, especially in the ruthless gauntlet that is the AFC North, where the Bengals, Steelers, and Ravens are all locked in for war. But this isn't just about one Sunday in September. If Sanders starts, it marks the dawn of a new era in Cleveland. The potential is there to grow alongside rising stars like Jerry Jeudy, David Njoku, and rookie phenom Gage Larvadain. The swagger, the composure, the ability to deliver under pressure. This kid could turn First Energy Stadium into a fortress again. Imagine the roar of the dog pound as Sanders rifles a 40-yard touchdown strike through tight coverage. That's the electricity this fan base has been dying for. But let's not pretend it's without risk. If Sanders isn't ready and stumbles out of the gate, it could trigger another year of quarterback chaos. Cleveland's 2025 schedule is brutal. Divisional cage matches against Cincinnati, Pittsburgh, and Baltimore, plus battles with the NFC North, the AFC East, the Raiders, the Titans, and a Super Bowl contending 49ers squad. A rookie QB would need to grow up fast to survive that crucible. Cleveland's offensive line gave up 59 sacks last year. Starting Sanders too soon could wreck his confidence and fuel the skeptics who call him nothing more than Dion's kid riding the hype. We've been here before. Hype, hope, heartbreak, but Sanders feels... He mentioned chatting with a few younger players, guys battling for their spot, and they echoed the same sentiment. They said Shedeur spins the ball different. It's just a certain crispness, a command, a spark. And listen, in this league, players don't fake admiration. They don't hype up rookies to make them feel good. If you haven't earned it, they'll let you know. But if you have, they'll make sure the world hears about it. Now, let me take you inside a moment that captured everything about who Shedeur is. There was a short break during practice, music playing, guys unwinding. Shedeur starts dancing, just goofing off, having fun, being lighthearted. Then, with a grin, he turns to Flacco and says, "Your turn." Flacco smirks and replies, "I don't do that kind of thing in public." The whole room laughs. It was a funny throwaway moment, but it revealed so much: confidence, charisma, humility. Shedeur's not trying to steal the spotlight. He's not challenging the veterans. He's just being himself, genuine and respectful, and the respect, it's flowing both ways. In another moment that's now gone viral, Shedeur spoke about Flacco and said something that gave me chills. "If Joe Flacco ever asked me to clean out his locker when he retires, I'd do it. No hesitation." That's not bravado, that's humility, that's respect, that's culture. And Flacco returned to praise. He said Shedeur has been fun to be around, especially in the meeting room. Even cracked a smile a few times because of him. Then added jokingly, "I probably played against his dad, and now I'm sharing a locker room with the son." Full circle. But maybe the most exciting piece of all this, the chemistry forming between Shedeur Sanders and David Njoku. Let's be clear, Njoku isn't just another guy. He's a pillar of the Browns' offense, a big-time playmaker, a tone setter, and right now, the rhythm between him and Shedeur is undeniable. They're connecting during drills. They're vibing on the sideline, the trust is growing, the timing is clicking, and when your T1 is vibing with a rookie QB this early, That's huge because quarterback tight end chemistry, that's not just built on talent. It's built on timing, communication, and trust. And you can't fake that. And it's not just what's happening on the field. One of the Browns' most respected beat reporters said Shedeur's maturity, his communication skills, and his overall professionalism, especially in media settings, have stood out in a major way. And when veterans like Flacco, Njoku, Ward, even Myles Garrett start gravitating toward a rookie quarterback, rallying around him, giving him room to lead, you've got to ask, is this the beginning of something bigger in Cleveland? Because honestly, it feels that way. This isn't ordinary. This isn't manufactured. This is organic leadership and natural fit. The type of thing that teams spend years trying to find. Shedeur Sanders isn't just trying to make the team. He's quietly, confidently laying the foundation to one day lead it. And if he continues on this trajectory, we might be witnessing the birth of a franchise quarterback in real time. Now, I want to hear from you. Is Shedeur Sanders truly the future in Cleveland? Can this early chemistry translate into real wins come fall? Or are we getting swept up in off-season optimism? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I'm reading every one because this one feels different. Thank you, guys. See you next video.